So taking a moment and finding a restful position on your back with your knees straight, or your legs long. A pillow can be underneath the knees or underneath the head, whatever is the most supported for you. And taking your time in this moment to allow yourself to notice your breath. Noticing, is it shallow? Is it sips? Is there a depth to your breath? We're doing this mini soma scan just to allow awareness to come into play. It's not about adjusting anything or judging. I just want to invite ourselves to be curious, just to notice. This is going to be a reference point for us to look back upon at the end of the session. So allowing your focus to move to your back body, noticing what areas of it are resting along the floor. Noticing what areas are hovering off of the floor, not making connection. This session is an opportunity for you to do things differently, to do movement differently. Any of the movements that we do are to be done without pain. If there is pain, stop. Allow everything to soften, everything to rest. And start again smaller and slower. It's not about how big we can do a movement. It is about how supported the movement can be in no pain and in its fluidity. And so when we're doing the movements, we're allowing ourselves to be curious. Is there what we call sensorimotor amnesia? And sensorimotor amnesia is when you move your body and there's missing information. And that missing information can show up in a glitch or a speeding up. And when it does that, we want to rewind the movement just before the glitch and take it through the movement again. And if there's a glitch, rewind it and move it through. If there's a glitch again, rewind it to just before and move it through again. It is slow and controlled movements. So bringing yourself now back to your back body. Starting at the tip of your toes, noticing up through your legs if one leg feels longer than the other, if one feels heavier than the other. Noticing where there's presence of tension. Allowing notice for areas of pain. And do honor your body at any point. If you do need to stop or readjust, as your body softens, you will need to readjust. Moving up through the hips and pelvis, noticing if there's tension. If one hip feels higher to your armpit or higher to the ceiling than the other. Just allowing your notice to notice. Moving to the lower back. Noticing if one side feels closer to the floor than the other. Noticing if there's more of an arch, or is it fairly flat to the floor or whatever surface you're resting on. Moving up through the back, through the ribs, through the spine. Notice if one side feels the same as the other. Up into the shoulder blades. Noticing if they're resting on the floor evenly. Moving your attention in through the abdomen of the front of the body. Noticing if there's any tension there. And up into the ribs. Noticing as you breathe. Does one side move with more ease than the other? Is one side higher than the other? Allowing your focus to go up and through the muscles of the chest, the sternum, the tissues. Noticing up to the collarbones, out to the shoulders. Just noticing if there's any tension. Down through the arms, the elbows, wrists, and into the hands. Allowing yourself to notice if your hands are resting on you or beside you, and what the placement of the hands are. Moving back into the core of your body, through the back of the neck, and the sides and the front. Through the back of the head, noticing where it's resting on the floor or on your pillow. Through the scalp, up into the brow, into the eyes, the muscles and the tissues around the eyes. Resting all the way back into the eyeballs and the eye sockets. Just noticing. Moving your focus now into your cheekbones, the roof of your mouth, your jaw, your tongue. And moving your awareness now back to your breathing and just noticing if it's the same or if it's different than it was when we noticed it at the beginning. And so when you're ready, I'm going to invite you to raise your right hand along the floor like it is reaching the wall above your head. We're going to think about slowly lengthening the right arm to reach towards that wall very gently. And as we do that, we're going to think about the left leg reaching toward the wall that's closest to the feet. It's not about how far you can go. And so slowly, with control, release the muscles that got engaged to make that reach happen. Slowly, with control, bringing it all back to neutral. And neutral for the arm is just so it's not reaching. It's not about moving it back to the side of the body or wherever it was reaching before. And so when you're back at neutral, check in. Did any muscles get engaged to do that motion that need to be invited to soften and rest? Muscles of the other leg, the pelvic floor, the chest. And when you're ready, a very gentle reach again, the right arm and the left leg going in opposite directions of each other. And slowly, with control, watching for any sensor motor amnesia. And if there's any, just extend the reach again, just that little bit past where it started. And bring it through the motion again. That is missing information in the body, in the muscles. So if you think you're back at neutral, allow yourself to slowly soften just a little bit more with those areas that we're reaching. Because a lot of times we think we're at neutral and we're still holding. So in this opportunity to be curious and allowing yourself to let anything else that got engaged to soften and to rest. And slowly on this next one, we're going to do right arm and right leg. Gently reaching right arm and right leg. And slowly, with control, bringing them back to neutral. When at neutral, allow everything to soften, everything to rest. One more time on this side. Right arm and right leg. So we're opening up that line on the right side. You might notice that the left side contracts a little, gets a little smaller as we open and elongate the right side. And slowly, with control, bringing it all back down to neutral. Being mindful of that last little leg of the journey, that you are in control. And when you're at neutral, allow everything to soften and everything to rest. Taking a breath here. And as you do so, you can allow yourself to move your right arm into a position that is comfortable. And when we're ready, we're going to think about that left arm, gliding it along the floor so it's up and above the head, along the floor. So we can think about reaching our fingertips towards the wall above our head, moving the arm up into that position in whatever way is possible. Remember, support your shoulders with pillows or props. It's not about creating a big stretch and discomfort. We never want pain in this class, in this time of self-discovery. So support your body in whatever way you need. And taking a breath here. We're slowly going to reach up towards that wall above our head with our left arm and thinking about that right leg, reaching our toes towards the wall that our toes are pointed towards. And you can engage the foot if it feels right for you, or just lengthening the leg, seeing what feels right for you at this time. And slowly, with control, bringing that all back down to neutral. Really watching for sensor motor amnesia and allowing yourself to slowly work through it, rewinding the movement, moving through the movement. We want to gather and gain our muscle memory, our ability to do so, our ability to move. And when you're back at neutral, allow everything to soften. And everything to rest. When you're ready, we're going to do that motion again, thinking about reaching up gently, lengthening the arm, the left arm, and lengthening the right leg. And slowly, with control, allow that to come back to neutral, watching for any sensor motor amnesia and adjusting and replaying accordingly. Allowing everything to soften, everything to rest, all through the body, all the muscles that got engaged in that movement. And taking a breath here. And slowly, with control, we're going to lengthen that left arm and lengthen that left leg. Just noticing how it may be different from when we did the same side on the other side. Honor this side in its capacity and ability to do so. And then slowly, with control, bringing it back to neutral. Watching for that sensor motor amnesia. Honoring anything that comes up. There's enough forcing and pushing through in the rest of life. This space and this time is for you. To notice what you notice. Giving the opportunity for it to be seen discomfort and to be let go as you come back all the way to neutral. Watching that last little area as you release with control to neutral, and then allowing everything to soften, everything to rest, all the muscles throughout the head, neck, shoulders, back, the muscles between the vertebrae, the muscles between the ribs, all the way through the lower back and glutes and pelvis. Any holding in the front body, the legs, just allowing it all to soften and rest. And one more time. We're gonna lengthen that left arm and left leg. And again, noticing that the right side might get a little shorter as you lengthen the left. And slowly, with control, bringing it back to neutral. And this slow, controlled movement is much like when a cat or a dog wakes up and they stretch. And it's a slow articulation through the movement. And when you're back at neutral, allowing everything to soften and everything to rest. That beautiful slow movement is called penticulation. So allowing yourself to find a comfortable position for that left arm. And taking a breath here. And so if you have a pillow under your knees, I invite you to be aware. Can the pillow be adjusted so it supports ease of the legs? So the legs can rest and drape over it like laundry on a drying line. And just notice if that feels a little different. The same as if you have a pillow underneath your head. See if it needs to be adjusted in any particular way to support that ease and restful nature of the head and the neck. And taking a breath here. All about allowing yourself to be curious how your system can be supported, and for you to be able to notice as well as receive it. All too often we're like, yeah, it's good. And the question that I invite to you is it? And could it be just a little softer, a little more supported, a little more ease, a little more Goldilocks? So when you're ready, I'm going to have you bring your knees up to be bent and your feet flat on the floor. Arms can rest wherever they're comfortable. And again, playing with the leg position, the feet position. The feet feel easier for support, closer to the bum or farther away. Closer together or farther apart. Just letting yourself play with it. Notice what your felt sense, what your muscle sense tells you. Where is it supported with ease? And a breath here. And we're going to invite ourselves to do the tilt and flatten that we normally would start a session with after the Soma scan. And so just allowing yourself to notice, is your back flatter to the floor, or does it have more of an arch? So if it's flatter to the floor, I'm going to encourage you to join in on the breath out. If there's more of an arch, I'm going to encourage you to start in on the breath in. So breathing in, we're going to allow that belly button to rise up to the ceiling. We'll notice the arch increase in the back and the tip of the tailbone tilt down. And breathing out, we'll get to a neutral point, and then we want to think about gently contracting the abdomen, which will flatten the back to the floor just a little bit more. Breathing in, belly button goes up to the ceiling, tip of the tailbone goes down. Notice, can you be softer in the rib cage, neck, and head? Breathing out and just breathing at your own pace. I'll continue to give the cues, but just follow your own system. Breathing in, belly button goes up, tip of the tailbone goes down. Shoulder blades may glide a little bit along the floor. Breathing out. Neutral, gentle contraction of the abdomen. You'll notice the tip of the tailbone go up. Breathing in, tip of the tailbone goes down. Can you notice movement in the shoulders, neck, and head? Breathing out. Almost thinking about giggling. That's that felt sense of the back body connecting to the floor. Breathing in. And 2 more breaths here, full cycles at your own pace. Allowing your awareness to be in through the tailbone and the back body. Allowing the rhythm, the softness. And once you've completed your 2 cycles, just allowing your breath to be. Wherever it is natural, wherever it has ease. I'm going to invite you to lay on your right side. So turning your body so it is sitting up in a big tall chair. And your knees are out at 90. Your head is supported by your pillow and or your arm. Your toes are out so you can see them past your knees. Allowing yourself to check your position with the line of your mat. Are your hips and your shoulders in alignment with each other? Seeing about the space that's in front of you on the mat. And bringing your awareness into your shoulder that's on the floor and the one that's resting above. Are they stacked upon one another? Or has the top shoulder listed back or listed forward. And you can even play with the motion and the movement, just allowing your top shoulder to rest back towards your back body. Noticing a gentle twist through the torso. And as you move slowly forward, you'll notice when it kind of feels a little more connected right above, stacked above the one below. And then just allowing yourself to be curious and play as you move gently forward with that top shoulder. Your arm can be rested on the floor or on your leg, wherever it's comfortable as you play with this motion. And so you'll notice a gentle twist in the spine when your body is fairly forward. Slowly with control, bringing your torso up again so it is stacked above the other shoulder. Allowing everything that got engaged to do those motions to soften and to rest. And when you're ready, I'm going to have you reach your right arm up and above your head. And your right arm can rest however it's comfortable. If it feels better, so it's in a curl supporting under your head, just allowing yourself to play with that. And then taking a breath there. Now we're going to take that left arm, that is our top arm, up and above our head, resting it at the top of the head. The fingers can curl underneath the side. We're going to think about that side body that is up towards the ceiling. And so on your next breath, you can gently lift the head, neck, and elbow up off of the floor, bringing that armpit towards your hip. And slowly, with control, bringing it all back down to neutral. Remembering less is more. We don't want any pain with any of these movements. Doing it in your mind's eye can be more than enough movement. And when you're back at neutral, allowing everything to soften and everything to rest. And so when we do this next one, I want you to think not about the whole concept of lifting. May I? We're going to think about this whole side body and it just coming together just a little bit. Just as you're ready. Just a little, that's lots. And slowly with control, bringing and lengthening that side body. Slow and steady, watch for that sensor motor amnesia. And when you're back at neutral, you're back at rest. Allow everything to soften and everything to rest. Again, we're going to engage the side body. It's not about lifting the neck and head by using the neck and head. It's about using the side body, gently contracting, thinking about that armpit to hip and hip to armpit, and slowly lengthening it back to neutral. The movement of the neck and head are secondary. They are because of the movement of our side body. And when we're back at neutral, allow everything to soften and everything to rest. And we're just going to think about the leg for a moment. And so thinking about the hip in its socket, we're going to think about moving that thigh inward into internal rotation. And we'll notice the foot will slowly come up, and then slowly with control, allow it all to come back to neutral. Yeah, watching for that sensor motor amnesia. And when you're back at neutral, allow all the muscles that got engaged in that to soften and to rest. And a breath here. Now we're going to incorporate those two movements. So thinking about the side body, bringing that armpit to hip, internally rotating the leg, and slowly with control lengthening them both out. Externally rotating the leg back to neutral. When you're back at neutral, allowing everything to soften, everything to rest. And one more time with this, incorporating both, thinking about internally rotating, hip to armpit, armpit to hip, that's lots, wonderful. And slowly with control, bringing it all back to neutral. Really watch as you take it back to neutral. And once you're back to neutral, allow everything to soften, everything to rest. And allow yourself to move onto your back. So allowing yourself to turn to your other side. Finding yourself in that high back, tall chair, knees at 90, toes out in front, shoulders in alignment with each other. Taking a breath here. And when you're ready, you can bring that right arm up and over your head. And when time permits, you can play with all those other little nuances that we did with the other side. But for today, we're going to stay and focus on that side body, armpit to hip and hip to armpit, allowing it to contract, which the head and the neck and the elbow will gently lift up. And slowly with control, bringing it all back down to neutral. And so even watching that action on the way up, you might have some sensor motor amnesia in there as well. Just doing them at your own pace. You can engage that leg into internal rotation. That foot will glide up. And slowly with control, bringing it all back to neutral. And don't rush through this. Allow yourself to take the time. I'd rather you do one with focus than three haphazardly. When you're at neutral, remember, allow all the muscles that got engaged to soften and to rest. And one more time, thinking about that armpit to hip, hip to armpit, allowing that side body to contract. And slowly, with control, allowing it to lengthen the leg to rotate back to neutral. And when it's all at neutral, allowing everything to soften, all the muscles that got engaged to soften and to rest. And when you're ready, allowing yourself to roll onto your back. And for a few breaths with the tilt and flatten. So when you're on your back, allow yourself to settle for a moment, just breathing naturally. A breath or two. And when you're ready, thinking about starting on the out breath or in the in breath, depending on where the position of your back is. That breathing in, belly button goes up, tip of the tailbone goes down. And breathing out. That neutral, gentle contraction of the abdomen, tip of the tailbone goes up. One more breath here with the tilt and flatten. Allowing yourself to notice and invite the possibility of being softer through the shoulders, the neck, the ribs. Allowing your breath just to be your breath again. I'm going to invite you to lengthen your legs when you're ready. Only if it's right for you. No need to force. We're going to finish with our final soma scan, allowing ourselves to just notice our breath, noticing how it's different than when we started. Bringing our awareness to our back body, noticing how it is different. Are there more areas touching the floor? And bringing our focus down through our legs, noticing if they feel more equal in length and in presentation, if there's less tension. Noticing up and through the hips and glutes and pelvis. Noticing how it is different. Are the hips broader? Are they more even with each other? Moving up into the lower back. Noticing if it feels more balanced and even. Noticing how it's different than when we started. Moving up through the spine, the ribs, the back body, the shoulder blades. Just noticing how it is different than it was before. Moving into the abdomen, the lower ribs, the diaphragm, the chest, the ribs, the muscles and the tissue of the chest, the collarbones, the shoulders. Noticing, are they broader and softer? Are they farther from your ears? Down through the arms, elbows, wrists, and hands. Noticing if their placement is different than they were when we started. If they feel more connected and less tense than when we started. Coming back up into the back of the neck and the head, noticing if its placement is the same or different, or if there's more quality of ease. Moving through the back of the head, to the top, to the brow, into the eyes and around the eyes. Noticing if it's softer in through the cheekbones, the roof of the mouth, the jaw, and the tongue, down through the front of the throat. Noticing again into your breath how it is different than when we started. I encourage you to take your time and have a moment of gratitude, appreciation for your willingness to participate and discover your system, your body, your being in new light. New connections and new ease. And taking your time to come to seated, laying on your side first, of course. And when you're at seated, just move slowly and only when you're ready. And thank you for being curious with your body and participating in this way. Have a beautiful day.